Hey, what's up guys, Sean here. So today I just thought I'd bring you guys a video about just common problems of the BMW E46. I haven't seen too many of these videos actually. I just thought it would help a couple people out who are looking, to purchase one of these BMWs. Because me personally, when I was looking to buy one of these about 3 years back, I felt like a video like this would have been really helpful. So right now I currently own a 2004 of course a BMW. It's a 325 Xi, so that means it's four-wheel drive. I bought it 3 years ago. It had 102,000 miles on the odometer, and currently I have 149,000, so 150,000. So I put 50,000 pretty much, or 48,000 in the past 3 years. So I've driven this car quite a bit. I've learned a lot about this car in that time, and I've definitely done a lot of maintenance on it in the past 3 years. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. So to start off with, number one would be the cooling system. Now if you're looking to buy one that's above 70,000 miles, definitely look into seeing if any of these things were replaced, like the water pump, the expansion tank, the thermostat, because these things are prone to going bad. They're made out of cheap plastic, and after so many years and just so many heat cycles, they tend to crack, break, whatever, and just go bad. So definitely look to see if that was replaced. I'll actually show you in this clip right now where to look in the specific parts.
Alright, so right over here you will see the expansion tank, so make sure that was replaced. Right over there, that is the water pump, and on top of that is the thermostat. So make sure all three of those are replaced, or look into replacing those. You'll see it doesn't usually look like this. I don't have the fan blade on, mine went bad, so I'm waiting for the new one to come in. But there's a water pump right on top of that's the thermostat, and there's an expansion tank again. So just make sure those were replaced.
So moving on to number two would be the CCV, or the crankcase ventilation system. Now this does go bad because it is of course made out of plastic, and this does usually go bad after 100,000 miles, sometimes even before that, because especially if you live in a colder climate where it gets really cold, and then the crankcase ventilation system gets really hot, so the plastic becomes brittle over time, because that will cause a check engine light. It will give you a P0174 and P0171 code, which is a lean condition, meaning that your vehicle detects air that is not going through the mass airflow sensor. So it adds extra fuel. You won't get extremely bad fuel economy, but you'll definitely notice your fuel economy isn't as good as it should be. So your car will be burning extra fuel. You won't really pass emissions. So make sure that either that was replaced, or see if you can even do it yourself. Because if you know what you're doing, me personally, I did it myself. If you know what you're doing, you can definitely tackle that job. It did take me about 45 hours to do it. But now that I know exactly what bolts take off, where everything is, I could probably do it in 2 to 3 hours. And mainly the CCV, the bottom tube, the one that connects to the oil dipstick tube, is the one that goes bad, because it's just it's really close to the engine, and it takes a lot of the heat, so it would just become really brittle over time, crack.
Alright, so this is the upper CCV hose. I got the cold weather version since I upgraded mine. I do live in New Jersey, so it does get pretty cold over here. But as you can see, it's right underneath the intake manifold. You really can't see it that well, so you really got to take apart the whole intake manifold to access it.
So moving on to number three, this isn't a very common problem, but this does happen, and I just thought it was worth mentioning because it does cost a lot to repair. It is the rear subframe cracking. It's more prone on the M3s, but it still has happened to the 325s and 330s. So what I would recommend is have a mechanic just go over your vehicle, do a purchase inspection, just play to play it safe, make sure everything is okay. He could just put it up on a lift, just check the back, see if it was done, see if it's cracked, and then this way you'll have peace of mind and you won't have to worry about it. If your subframe is cracked, I would just stay away from the vehicle. Just don't even bother buying it. It's about $1,000 to even $2,000 to get it fixed. Depending on where you take it, you have to find someone who knows how to do it. So moving on to number four, this is mainly for the viewers or anyone who's going to be purchasing a XI, a four-wheel drive model. I currently have an XI, so if you aren't purchasing an XI, I would just skip over this one because you won't have to really worry about this. So what the fourth one is the front CV joints, or the the boots. Basically what happens is they will tear over time, they will rip and just spew grease everywhere. So the way again to look at that is have your mechanic go over it, or even if you can do it yourself, you can kind of just look underneath the car, see if there's grease everywhere, and you can actually you can even turn the wheels and look inside to see if the boot's cracked or not. And another symptom to know if that has gone bad or not is if you're driving on highway speeds or even, you know, around 30 miles an hour, and as you accelerate, the car, you know, it's just shaking violently. Almost, it feels like a misfire, but it's not. It's most likely your CV joint. If you don't have a check engine light, it's definitely your CV joints. That's personally happened to me driving, you know, highway speeds around 60 miles an hour. It would shake very violently. So both my front CV joints went bad. I replaced the passenger one as of right now. Honestly, you can drive on them for a pretty long time. I drove on them for about 50,000 miles, which I probably shouldn't have done. Yeah, you can drive on them for a while. They're not immediate. They don't need immediate repair, but definitely see if it's done or see if it's bad, because you're gonna have to, you know, replace that in the future. Moving on to number 5. This is something that goes bad actually on old cars, but I just definitely thought it was, again, worth mentioning because it does cost a lot of money, and it happened to me after about a month after purchasing or buying my BMW. The starter went bad. Now, this isn't something that's easily accessible, like right underneath the car or right on top of the car. It's actually right underneath the intake manifold. So it was a pretty expensive repair, about $1,200 it costs from the BMW dealership. So if the starter hasn't been done and it's above 100,000 miles, definitely expect that. Luckily, I was at home. I wasn't anywhere out and about, so, you know, I was able to just tow it really quickly to, you know, shop in the area and get it done. But it can leave you stranded if it has been done, of course, and it does cost a lot of money. All right, so moving on to number 6 would be the BMW window regulators. Now, these just go bad like there is no tomorrow. They're just a really bad design by BMW, and pretty much what happens, it's not the motor, it's just, of course, the regulator, and what, you know, brings the window up and down. The wire will just kind of get tangled up, or it'll just kind of you know, come off of the, you know, of the gears or the pulleys. And again, yeah, it was just a really bad design. I replaced every single one of my window regulators on my car, I think about twice now. And actually kind of funny, the passenger one is bad right now. It went bad a couple. Go ahead and press the window down. You can see it doesn't want to go down. Luckily, mine is stuck closed, not open. So it kind of has a mind of its own, but you could hear it kind of crackling, and you could hear the wiring and the gears. The gears actually right over there. You could hear it just kind of, you know, stuck and not working for us like it's supposed to. So moving on to number 7 would be the oil filter housing gasket and the valve cover gasket. Now, again, if your car is over about 70,000 miles and this hasn't been replaced, just expect, you know, this cost to come up, you know, around the valve cover, to see if there's oil dripping around there. And also, the way you know if the oil filter housing gasket is going bad, you can actually see between the pulleys.
So as you can see, this on top right over here is the valve cover gasket. So around the edges, you'll see, you know, kind of oil dripping down. I would change mine so mine isn't, you know, of course, you can't see it. And then right in between there is the oil filter housing gasket. You also see oil kind of dripping down over there. If you kind of point a flashlight down there.
Rubber becomes brittle over time, just like the plastic. After so many heat cycles, it just goes bad. Luckily, it's not too expensive to replace, and if you do know what you're doing, you can do it yourself. The actual gasket costs $5, I think $4 to $5 for the oil filter housing gasket, and for the valve cover gasket, I think it's like $20 to $40, I think it is. And I did both of them myself, pretty easy. Valve cover gasket took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and oil filter housing gasket took me about an hour, 2 hours as well. So, you know, you can definitely do it yourself, and if you're mechanically inclined and you know how to work on these cars, you can save a lot of money. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope a lot of this information was helpful to you guys. Good luck in buying your BMW E46. These are amazing cars, especially when they're working well. They're really fun to drive, especially when you take it down back roads and stuff. Good amount of power through that straight 6. Now, if you guys have any questions, anything like that, you can go ahead and personal message me, comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I know how it is, you know, when you're buying, you know, one of these cars, you might be a little bit nervous, a little bit skeptical. You know, you don't know what to look for. It can be, you know, it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So go ahead and message me. You know, I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. Any of your questions you guys have. If you guys like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I'll definitely be putting out more content, definitely BMW E46 related, and just BMW, and just, you know, working on car. Yeah, so go ahead, comment, rate, subscribe, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Again, good luck with your BMW E46, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.